Cowboys Nation. How the hell y'all feeling right now?
Yo, this is Neville Gallimore from the Dallas Cowboys, and I want to give a major shout out to Mike Tag. Keep bringing the hype to the Cowboys Nation. We love and appreciate it. Now, can you dig it?
What is up, Cowboys Nation? Your boy Mike Tag here with Kelly K9, and it's getting ever so close. Now, I'm a little under the weather, but I took a little time off to get a little nap in because I'm going to be heading out on that Learjet Saturday, touching down at AT&T because an ass whooping is getting ready to take place. But we got to do everything right. We got to keep a little things cordial. So first of all, how you doing, Kelly?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. Got me a cold Miller Lite. And, man, that 10-day, the whole 10 days off thing is messing with me. It feels like it should already be game day, and I'm ready, man. I was ready like 2 days ago. I was sitting there like, God damn, I still got to wait all the way till Sunday night. You got to wait till all the Sunday games to get to this. Like, let's get it going already. But I'm doing great, man. I'm doing great.
Well, we got to get you. Seem a little. I don't know if you're still hungover from that, maybe a date you went on or something like that. But we got to get you amped up, and the way to do it is we got to bring some enemies into the turf, right? They're coming to AT&T, so now we got to bring them into the cave, and we got to talk about this a little bit because it's a big NFC game, NFC East. This isn't our opportunity to kind of even it up. So you put a call out. You put a call out to some Eagles content creators, and you got some responses, I guess.
I did, man. I put up the bat signal, as it may be, in Cowboys Twitter. They came through. They said they knew some guys that was reputable. So obviously we had to vet these guys and make sure there wasn't no clowns, because I wasn't finna have no Tom Stakes on here. All right, wasn't finna have that on here. So we had to get some guys in here that's gonna bring some heat. But obviously this we gotta have some logical fans in here from the Eagles side. So obviously we already know what they think or what their perspective is, but we're going to hear it straight from their mouths here in a minute as we bring them in. So, yeah, we got to go ahead and bring these boys on the screen.
Let's bring in Smitty. We got some Eagle fans invading the territory, invade the cave. So how you guys doing this evening?
Man, we're doing all right, man. We feeling good. Most people coming off of a loss like last week wouldn't feel too confident. But I think I feel pretty well going into AT&T this weekend.
All right. Well, before we get heated up and then anything happens, go ahead, Smitty. Give us where can people find you? You got a great YouTube channel. I watched your stuff, and I also watched King DV do the same right after Smitty.
Yeah, man. Y'all can catch me on YouTube at 4133 the podcast. Twitter, Smitty Eagle 373. Yeah, I ain't got the TikTok and all that stuff yet, but I'm working on it.
That's all right.
You can find me on Twitter, King DV Sports, on here YouTube, King DV Sports, Eagles all day. Just repping the birds, and like these guys said, I'm logical, but I also get my jabs in there here and there. So I'm just ready for a good conversation.
No, absolutely, and I will say, King. And Smitty might know it. I don't know if you will, but back in the day, the Canes had the 7th floor crew, and there was a rap. They did this. It was a team that rapped, and one of their names was King something else. So every time I say King, and it began with a D, it's kind of messing me up. So if I apologize because I keep wanting to rap it. If you haven't seen it, make sure you YouTube it, and you'll see old Greg, third leg Greg, talking in there. Greg Olson. That's one rap that he wishes would go away, but it never will. But anyway, let's talk about the game. So you guys brought it up. you got your. I mean, let's just we mix no words. You got your ass whooped on Sunday. We did the same. What the hell can we say? 49ers for some reason put it on both of us pretty good. So looking at that game now, you're coming into AT&T. You said your confidence is pretty good. I mean, what makes your confidence high after a performance like that?
I mean, coming off a loss like that, you have to be energized. You have to be motivated. You have to want blood. I mean, it's no way possible you come into AT&T flat, not fighting. Like I feel like if we came in off a win, y'all possibly catch us like they just caught us. You know what I'm saying? But coming off an embarrassment like that, basically national TV, I don't think anybody in the world was watching another game at that moment. Unless your team was on TV. I mean, and then, I was listening to AJ Brown earlier. He was kind of like, man, I'm not going to even say what happened after that game. I'm pretty sure a few people got cussed out, got reprimanded, probably feel a little bad still to today. They came in today, but they came in motivated, man. I can't believe anything otherwise. You would believe the same about the Cowboys.
What are you thinking, King?
So look, unlike my co-host on the Inside the Nest, Smitty, I was at the game.
Oh,
yeah, that makes it worse, right?
Yeah,
I was at the game, and I was, drinking a couple of beers and everything, and then I sobered up because we stopped tackling. We just made it look easy for them, man, and it was just horrible. But coming into this game, I feel like that, our team is trying to get back and trying to get their get back. So, what better way to try to do that and to motivate themselves going against a divisional opponent that's actually, knocking on the door on, possibly being the number one seed. So, this is where, the great players play. Both teams are doing well. I'm not going to hold that against you, but at the same time, I feel like our team, if we put it together, and we keep saying it all year, if we put it together, then we got a great team. But now it's the time, man. We over that hump of the season, and we going towards the end of the season. We need to really, really get it together. And I feel like that, going in, I feel good about this game. I really do.
Well, here's where the T's start to get crossed and the I's get dotted, because I understand you guys feeling confident, but I just got to let y'all know you're rolling into AT&T Stadium with the Cowboys offense right now that is number one in the league in scoring.
Cool.
Have won 14 straight at home.
Cute.
Got Dak Prescott cooking. Got Ferguson, who has just completely started to dominate his will over any secondary right now, where I think where you guys are lacking in terms of last year, it's a different story this year, because your defense last year was playing better than they are this year. Let's just face it, that secondary, the back end of you guys' defense is not very great right now. They're not doing very good. You guys have been lit up and torched by a lot of different quarterbacks, and there's just something about AT&T. When Dak is at AT&T, playing at AT&T Stadium this year, he is just unstoppable. And I don't see y'all having an answer for that in the secondary. Obviously, I think you guys' offense can put up some points. Obviously, Jalen Hurts is going to do his thing. And, he's, that's the whole tush push thing. I mean, you guys got, what do they say? They got 3 downs or whatever the shit is. First and 9 or whatever, 1st and 7. But so y'all's offense does pose some threats. They are an explosive offense. I just don't see y'all's defense being able to stop Dak. He's playing at a high level right now. Ferguson's taking us. CD's playing. Brandon Cooks is coming along at the right time. Turpin's coming. I mean, that offense is humming, and I think that I just don't see y'all's defense having no answers for the Cowboys offense.
Well, go ahead.
I understand that, Kelly, right? I understand what you say, right? For what you see, if you really look at it in a small vacuum seal, you know what I'm saying, you're gonna see all the mistakes, right? But you can't say we didn't have a great performance against a few teams this year, that if we possibly could somehow replicate those games, we could cause problems for Dak Prescott. I mean, we didn't do it in the first game. I don't know what the objective was of letting CeeDee Lamb cook as much as they did, but we gotta somehow do what we did against Kansas City, what we did against Miami, and what we were able to do against the Bills and taking away their main receiver. Like, we were able to do that against 3 powerhouse teams where we were able to take away their main guy. Travis Kelce had 54 yards. Tyreek Hill had under 80 yards. And when we played Buffalo, I think Stephon Diggs only had like 70 yards. Like we were able to hold guys, but I also understand, like, when you moving pieces in and out of the lineup, you bringing guys in, putting guys here, moving guys from safety to cornerback. You're trying to play guys in different spots. That's the miscommunication we have. Now, this is going to be the third consecutive week where we've had the same guys on the field. I think it's going to improve. I have to believe it's going to improve.
It can't get worse than last week, though, right?
Last week wasn't even coverage, though. Last week was just tackling.
They gave up 400 and something yards in 3 quarters because really the first quarter you guys shut them down, and I think they got 484 yards in 3 quarters.
Yeah, but how much did you see? Okay, so we gave up 314 yards passing. We gave up 314 yards total passing yards. 213 was yak.
Yeah.
That wasn't coverage. That was the ability not to grab your man and put him on the ground.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you got a yak problem with CD. And I mean, really, Cooks is going, but I want to get the hot take, and I think it was kind of garbage. It was something they wanted. But we talk about Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts, to me, it just doesn't look the same. And I've seen a lot of Eagle games. It's like either they're not wanting him to run the ball as much as he did, because I always thought that was a great weapon with him. It seems like he's holding back. Is he injured? Are they changing things because he got paid?
You got 2 guys calling the plays, Mike. You got when it's comfortable, you got Nick Sirianni trusting Brian Johnson to call plays, and then when it's uncomfortable, you take the pad out of his hand, and now you're calling the plays that you think work. When we all know you're not a play caller.
Yeah.
And this just came out. I just found this out yesterday, DV? It just came out yesterday?
Smitty, we've been through this. Yeah, Smitty.
We've been talking about it, but it got confirmed just a little while ago. And it's like, look, either you're gonna let one guy call the game and learn it.
Among the ranks, is that what you're saying? The offensive coordinator and the head coach aren't on the same page?
It's trust. It has to be trust, right?
It's a trust issue. It's a trust issue. Brian Johnson, basically first year offensive coordinator. It's a trust issue with Nick Sirianni. He's basically trying to oversee everything. He throughout that run last season, he did call some plays that he felt like that, he's getting his groove back. So he felt like, just micromanaging would be the best way. Yes, we were, still winning games this season like that. But when we going into this gauntlet, as what everybody's calling it, then you got to allow your guy to approve. What happens when that play calling comes about? You're supposed to just oversee everything, not micromanage to the point where you got your hand in the offensive game, not so much the defensive game, but the offensive game. Like Smitty said, that last game, it was all yards after catch. We weren't tackling. Tackling is our major issue, and I'm hoping that this whole rest of the week before we go to Dallas, that we're practicing tackling. That's just the gist of it, because what I seen with my own eyes, not even on the TV screen, in person, we weren't tackling. It's no way that Nicholas Morrow has Debo in his sights, touch him, and don't tackle him. I don't care how good Debo or people think Debo Samuel is. He shouldn't have got no 40-yard touchdown off of that. It shouldn't have happened. But I digress. I really believe that Nick Sirianni needs to just allow the offensive coordinator to be the offensive coordinator, get everybody involved, and let's see where we go from there. Nick Sirianni is really like screwing with the quarterback in Jalen Hurts. And to go on Jalen Hurts, I feel like that Jalen Hurts was injured. I don't think he's injured now. I believe he's not injured now. The whole thing is they wanted him to stay in the pocket because that pass rush of San Francisco is crazy. It is crazy. So they wanted him to try to get the ball out quickly and everything. But San Fran did an amazing job making him do one read and basically trying to get out. He had so many receivers open, whereas though he didn't have enough time because he didn't think he had enough time. He had to escape. His first read was escape. That's it. He did not look down the field. So I don't know if y'all going to try to take the same approach on Sunday, but I think that, looking at the game tape from the loss, how can we learn from it? And then also looking at the game tape from things that y'all did the first go around, I think that he'll be ready this time. But long story short, I just think that, Jalen Hurts is not injured. I think that, whatever was said by a David Carr, whose lower brother is way better than him, by the way. Whatever was said about him was absolutely just trash. And I think that was just for clicks, likes. And then I think also him and Mariota is friends. They gotta be.
Well, and Carr was clarifying what he was saying was that Jalen Hurts is injured and that you should rest him because you're pretty much in the playoffs to get him healthy before you bring him back. But it didn't come out right.
Which is dumb though, because there's you always hear that, are you hurt or are you injured? Like everybody's hurt around this time of the year, everybody's banged up. But if you got a chance to get the number 1 seed and you're still not running, which Philly is in the running, let's face it, right? They got it right now. There's no way in hell you put Marcus Mariota in. I've seen Marcus Mariota
you
play.
don't want that.
There's a reason he's on the bench. There's a reason he's sitting behind Jalen Hurts and it's not starting. Like, I'm sorry, if you put Marcus Mariota in there, that's not the same Eagles offense that we've seen this year, because even though Jalen Hurts hasn't ran it, like we've seen, he still has the ability to hurt you downfield with his arm. We've seen some of the big throws to AJ Brown. I mean, when you got a receiver like that, you can just throw it up and have him catch the ball out. So, I mean, the Eagles offense is way better with Hurts in it. I laughed when I got that. I felt like it was a low-key troll job by David Carr. Either that or he still has a concussion from playing with Houston, maybe lingering. But he's
been sacked the most times by any quarterback ever in the NFL history. So maybe he just, maybe he has a little CTE.
Yeah,
I do want to say for I know it's an Eagles fan. He's got a San Francisco logo. He must have lost a bet.
That's what I was going to say.
He did.
He must have lost a bet.
He did.
But he did say earlier, I did see it. He said,
Twiz?
do you trust Dak in a close game? And I'll just say I was there at AT&T Stadium Thursday night and watched Dak close out a close game. So absolutely, I trust Dak in a close game. So I've seen him do it plenty of times. May not have the results in the playoffs, obviously, last 2 years against San Francisco, but in regular season games, Dak, he's been pretty clutch, and this year he's done good. And then there's been a few games where he's had to come behind this year, and in that Seattle game, couldn't have got more clutch than that performance he had against Seattle. So yes, I do trust Dak in a close game.
Absolutely. And man, looking at Hurts, I mean, Hurts is, obviously he's a really good quarterback. He just doesn't look the same. I guess that was kind of my point. He just hasn't looked the same as he did last year. So I didn't know if he's kind of banged up or if it's the offense, but you guys kind of answered that. And talking about your running game, hopefully my guy from Penn State is okay, right? Or no, where's he? He's not from Penn State. Where's he from? Swift,
Georgia.
Georgia? No, is he? Is he Georgia?
Georgia.
I thought he's Wisconsin or up north.
He good. He wasn't on the injury report. Wasn't nothing wrong with him.
But your running game is kind of like Dallas. Like when I look at both of our running games, it hasn't been great. It's been okay, but it just hasn't. It's kind of like that's my one concern. If I was going to tell you as a Cowboys fan, I don't like our running game. It just doesn't seem like we're kind of getting things going the way that we need to. It looks like Pollard is we're taking him away from what makes him special, and we just don't have that banger like we had with Zeke that can go get those dirty yards in the inside. And it just seems like we get spurts of big runs that make the overall number look okay, like 4 yards a carry. And then I see the Eagles. It seems very similar where you guys were so dominant in the run last year. It doesn't seem like it's like that this year. Am I wrong?
We're not running.
So yeah,
we
no, yeah.
Not running
sorry,
at
bro.
all.
Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead. We're just not running it at all. Like, it's ridiculous.
So here's the thing about how between last year and this year, if you want to do comparisons. So Jalen Hurts, yes, he was a big part of our running game, as well as Miles Sanders. But Miles Sanders was a big part of the running game because we had the personnel. We had that guy. And I think we lost him. What was his name? Smitty?
What?
On O-line.
Isaac Salamalu.
Salamalu. Yeah. So we lost him. We put Cam Jurgens in right guard. And now, the offensive line is great. That was probably one of the bright sides of that loss against the 49ers. Whereas though that, Our defense couldn't stop him, but our O-line was clearing the way for Jalen Hurts.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Brian Johnson / Nick Sirianni is not giving the ball to our running backs. That's what it is. I think that to answer your question, it's completely false because the numbers are kind of skewed because we're not handing the ball off to our running back.
Yeah.
Our running backs is averaging under 20 carries as a whole. Swift has 14. Kenneth Gainwell will have 4.
If that, maybe 2.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. It's not averaging out to a running back that's a workhorse.
Yeah.
What I'm saying.
Listen, if it tells you anything, this morning, first thing going into practice, there was people out there with big signs that said "Run the ball," standing at the entrance of our practice facility. Run the ball. We're just not running it. We ran it 6 times. Swift had 6 carries last week.
And Nick Sirianni had to give him give them some coffee, saying that he saw the sign. He said it in the press conference.
Yeah.
The fact that fans is telling you to run the ball, it takes me back to 2021. Like, just run the ball, man. This is the team we play inside out. We all about the trenches. We all about running the ball. Then outside, but what happens with these coaches, especially because they're young, what happens is they look at the cornerbacks and the matchups they got with A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith. Dallas Goedert wasn't in for about four weeks.
Yeah. So
now he's not a diversion, right? So now you're looking at these guys on the outside and you're basically like, oh, we got that. I like that matchup. But you're being greedy with those matchups because now you're forcing your quarterback that is a dual threat quarterback. You're forcing him to say, oh, I got to get him involved. And it's like, no, you got to stick with the game plan inside out, run the ball, test the waters with the defensive line of the opposing team, and then, branch out, slants, and out routes, things like that. But this is what these coaches are not doing. And even though we're 10-2 now, we had this talk every single week. The coaches have to be better. We have to play a full game, short the sideways into the second half to adjust. Brian Johnson is not really calling too many good plays in the red zone. Like it was a whole thing. And I know y'all had y'all issues with the red zone also in the beginning of the season. But at the same time, I just think that the learning experiences should help these guys grow, not keep them at the same place. The same things is not working. You need to change it. And I'm not going to say I'm happy about the loss, but I'm thankful that, hopefully this gives them the opportunity to make some changes in the room, in the coaching room.
Yeah.
Yeah, honestly, you look at if I just had to look at it just to see, well, between the two main backs, and obviously this isn't counting total rushing, but Pollard and Swift are pretty much almost the same. They got Pollard's got 737 yards. I think Swift's got 783. Pollard's averaging 4.1 a carry. Swift 4.7. You'd think behind that Eagles offensive line, you guys would be running the ball a whole lot better. Because in my opinion, that's where you guys got an edge, is that offensive line. The way that you guys can move people off the ball, that's why the whole, whatever the hell you want to call it, tush push, brotherly love, shove, whatever the hell you want to call it. That's why that's so effective, though, is because you guys have that. Other people have tried it and haven't done it as successfully. And it's because of the physicality of that offensive line. You think that you'd be running the ball better and running the ball more. So I'm not really sure what the deal is behind that. I think with the Cowboys, our run blocking schemes haven't been the greatest, but I think that Mike McCarthy has found a way to, we seem to throw the ball to set up the run versus run the ball to set up the pass with the Cowboys. They just seem to Dak, the way he's spinning the ball right now. I think he's like, look, we're just going to put the ball in Dak's hands and let him do what he does. And it's been working. So, but come playoffs is what concerns me with the Cowboys. And any time is it having that running back that can do, what Christian McCaffrey did to you guys late in that game when they had that big lead, was like, they just give him the ball and they just let him run it. And they were able to do it successfully. That's the key formula to winning games is running the ball in the playoffs.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and just a quick question, and then a comment too, because I know Edgar he said it, and I was going to bring it up, but do you think your O-line is as dominant this year? Because they just don't seem as dominant as years past. It seems like Hurts been sacked more than Dak Prescott, and it just doesn't seem like they're as dominant. I mean, Kelsey didn't play very well against the 49ers. I think you probably have to say that. So, I mean, are you seeing maybe a decline? I mean, we had that with our O-line, so I mean, I understand it. Do you see this O-line declining of yours?
Nah, I don't see a decline. I mean, I see. Okay, so Cam Jurgens is obviously a smaller guard. He shouldn't be guard, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's one of the problems. Like the first half of the year, if you know anything about offensive line, I know y'all watch tape. Lane Johnson was overcompensating for Cam Jurgens kind of being there, which caused a lot of pressure to be right there in that gap or outside. You know what I'm saying? So if I'm taking a half a step shorter than I would if I was in my comfortability, you know what I'm saying? I'm blocking without somebody that I feel is a problem next to me. He probably not gonna catch the block. He might get beat. And then I done seen him get beat inside me. So now instead of me stepping way out to the right, I'm stepping like halfway out to the right. So now the guy that's coming outside is beating me. But now that they've getting more comfortable, if you look at last week, Bosa didn't really get pressure. The 2 sacks that we did give up last week was my own quarterback fault. He tripped over his foot, and then he just held the ball for 30 seconds.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think we're getting better. I think just the beginning of the year was just comfortability. Like, if you notice, the sacks we gave up came on the right side where we put a new guy at. They didn't come at Mulata or Lane Dickerson. They came right on the right side where the 3 guys that are trying to figure out how they can make sure Cam Jurgens is protected and comfortable. It started to cause a problem because if we're overcompensating for one guy, that's just like if you hurt your leg and you leaning on the other leg, you start to hurt the other leg. Now you starting to now it's like, hey, look, Cam, you on your own, and he's starting to hold up. So I'm okay with that. And he went out for 4 weeks, so that didn't help to put the backup in for 4 weeks. That don't help you get comfortable. Y'all know about offensive line injuries.
No, I mean, we've been very pleased. Don't go jinxing us. We've been very, very thankful that Tyron's been able to play all year, and he's been able to play at a high level. And just a quick question from Steve. He's in the chat, and he's a loyal guy to the cave. So he wants to know who's a better receiver out of CD and Brown. We got man. Too nice to each other. I'm trying to get something to mix it up.
Man, CD is a good receiver. He you know what I'm saying? He's a good receiver, but he's a slot receiver, man. You know what I'm saying? He's a slot receiver, and AJ a man. It just happens like that. I'm sorry, but 10 times out of 10, I'm taking AJ.
Do you discredit, like if a guy says, oh, like I see a lot of people say, oh, CD's a slot receiver, he gets discredited as being, because he can play every spot, he gets discredited as being a top receiver or compared to the top ones?
So when you play in the slot, when you play in the slot that much, man, you taking on the weakest cornerback. You finding the weak link. You taking on linebackers, cornerbacks, and safeties. You picking at people. My guy's sitting out there, and they putting their best guys out there. He going against the best of the best. Whoever they could put out there on AJ Brown, he got to fight every week. Y'all finding a niche. It ain't nothing wrong with that.
Here we go.
There's nothing wrong with that. But y'all finding a niche. Listen. Y'all never ran this much motion ever. Y'all running all this motion with CeeDee Lamb, trying to find out, okay, they in zone. We're going to find, hey, what a linebacker zone at? We're going to put him in the slot. We're going to let him run this drag route. We're going to let him run this. We're going to let him run this up and in on a linebacker. I mean, if you one-on-one a linebacker, I can't discredit you if you wasn't one-on-one against, let's say, the number one cornerback.
Are you saying CD doesn't play on the outside? Because I've seen him play.
No. I just say he played more in the slot than he does outside.
Okay. See, now with me, when I think about that, I think that's just, you're a more versatile receiver if you can play all those positions. Because I'm just gonna let you know right now,
Kelly. Come on, Kelly.
I think CeeDee Lamb.
So would you compare Randy Moss to Tyreek Hill?
I'm just saying. I think I seen CeeDee Lamb have like 4 for 65.
Would you compare
on
Randy Moss to Tyreek Hill?
Go inside and out. I got a guy that if you got a guy that you could create that mismatch, you can go inside out. If I got a guy who's a Swiss Army knife versus a guy who's a bread and butter knife, I'm gonna take the Swiss Army knife because I can do more with that.
Okay, receiver. I got Randy Moss and you got Tyreek Hill. That's cool. I'll take Randy all day.
I mean, Tyreek.
Randy Moss
ain't so bad.
He is, but we're looking at Tyreek Hill about to be the first dude to ever go for 2,000, possibly. I mean, that's putting him in some elite. That's an elite.
I'm saying he's a gadget. I wasn't saying he's on the same level. I'm saying he's a gadget. He's able to move around. He's able to do a little running back. Him and that guy we just played, Deebo Samuel. They kind of like the same type of guy. They take, y'all put that motion so he can get a head of steam, so he can kind of, super beat the linebacker, then y'all do all that confusion and put him in stacks so he can get pick plays. Like, I understand y'all need to get him open, but maybe he could, advance his footwork and get himself open. I'm just saying.
Well, AJ Brown tried to do that against us. I think we held him to his second lowest reception total of the season, so it don't always work out too well for your boy AJ Brown. Sometimes he get locked down. So I'm just saying, you got CD. If it ain't working on the outside, we can move him into the slot. We got answers. For your
but look, we don't need to move our guy to the slot because we got Smitty. You forgot
CD is the answer on the. Hey, look, he's like the cheat sheet. CD's the cheat sheet.
You forgot we got wide receiver 1B, right? You forgot about 1B. He the one we can move around. We don't need to move AJ. We got Smitty.
No. Devontae Smith, he's a good low receiver, but he's not. I mean, what level?
What?
He's a good.
No, wait. Let him finish. Let him finish, bro.
I mean, what level do you put him at? I mean, he's a good receiver. He's a 2. He's not a 1, right? You're not saying he's a 1.
He's a 1.
He's a 1. He's a 1.
We're not doing this.
Come on, we're not doing this.
What makes him not a 1B?
Brandon Cooks is a 1B. Is Brandon Cooks a 1B there?
Show me Brandon Cooks' stats. Show me the stats of Devontae Smith compared to Brandon Cooks right now.
Brandon Cooks gets 1,000 every year.
No. I ain't talking about what he did with the Texans, the Patriots. What is he doing right now for the Cowboys?
Last 4 games, look at what he's doing.
My receiver is 160 yards for having 1,000 yards. Right now.
Yeah. What's that get you? Got your ass.
10 and 2. 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 And I'm about to sweep you. 10 and 2. I'm buying a new broom. I'm going to buy a new broom. I got hardwood floors. I'm going to get a Swiffer jet.
I am too.
But no, someone asked a question. Mike Quick or CeeDee Lamb? Which one are you taking? I'm joking. I thought you guys may not go back as Eagle fans. You don't know Mike Quick?
I know who Mike Quick is.
It was a joke.
Mike Quick lost his record last year to that guy. Y'all want to say CeeDee Lamb better than
I like Mike Quick. But Michael Irvin, someone asked, and I think it was the Eagle fan, Michael Irvin or CeeDee Lamb. I'll answer that very quickly and let Kelly go. Michael Irvin all day, every day. Michael Irvin to me was the greatest competitor at wide receiver that I've ever seen. Seen him at Miami. Seen him at St. Thomas High School. I grew up in South Florida, so maybe I'm biased, but Michael Irvin was the greatest competitor at wide receiver that I've ever seen.
I would agree with that, and I will agree with that, and I'm just going to add something because I had to come back to this because I needed to look, man. Brandon Cooks averaging 13.4 per reception, and that's like right there with your boy Smitty is like 13 even.
What's the yards, man?
He's got one less touchdown than Smitty. The problem with Cooks is we wasn't getting him the ball early. He wasn't getting integrated in his offense. Now that he's been getting integrated into this offense, listen, Brandon Cooks has been 1,000-yard receiver every year except for, I think, 2 years that he been. He got 1,000 yards playing with the Texans from a bag boy from the Piggly Wiggly, and he got 1,000 yards. You can't tell me Brandon Cooks ain't
going to get it this year.
He nice. He hit
497
497
right now. Well, that's the problem. So many weapons.
Gallup's still trying to find out if he got a knee. Ferguson is coming along. I like Tony Pollard too. I like Ferguson and I like Pollard. But Goddard coming back to get his get back this week. Y'all booked him and thought he was gone. He back.
No, he's back. Let's talk about these tight ends because Ferguson had 91 yards against your first game. He seems to be heating up. Goddard has always been kind of he's been a little bit of a problem for Dallas. He's always had good games. He's a good tight end. Some people say that was a dirty play. I mean, it's football. I don't know. I don't think it was intentional or any ill will towards him getting hurt.
Of course you don't think it's intentional. It's your guy.
What?
It's your guy. It's your guy that did it. Of course you don't
think that was intentional?
Of course
I do.
Oh,
my God. Get out of here.
You see the play?
Huh?
Did you see
It's
the play?
clean, hard.
I did. I saw the stiff arm, and I saw him grabbing on his arm and went to the ground. I don't think he intentionally rolled up on him, trying to think he's gonna break his arm though.
That's cute. Well, Dallas is back.
That takes some hella body control to do that.
Dallas is back in.
No, he's back. So you got these two tight ends. I think me personally in this game, these are the X factors. I don't know if you agree or disagree, but on both sides, Ferguson is he's kind of brought a spark to the team, a little bit of a nastiness to the team. He's kind of getting things rolling. You guys have. You struggled last week against tight ends. I don't know if it's historically been trouble, but your linebackers are bad. Your secondary is bad. So I would think tight ends have their way with you. And so what's your think of that matchup? I mean, how worried are you about Ferguson going into this after you saw what happened to you last week?
Go ahead, bro.
I had tried to tell him, like, we ain't had bad rep against tight ends. I mean, George Kittle didn't really do nothing else last week.
He looked like he did.
He had like two or three like wide open ones, but it wasn't like no craziness.
And you just said you guys can't tackle. Do you think you're going to tackle Ferguson? You just said.
I mean, we stopped Travis Kelce, right?
Well, that's Taylor Swifting.
Everybody's been
Taylor Swifting going on.
TJ Hawkinson. What about TJ Hawkinson?
You guys know that.
Hold on. TJ Hawkinson. Would you say Jake Ferguson is TJ Hawkinson?
I don't know. Jake Ferguson's been playing pretty damn well the last few games.
I'll tell you something right now. I say by the end of this season, I think Jake Ferguson's a top 3 tight end of the league.
There you go.
Come on, over who?
You know what, Kelly?
Hold on, wait, DV. I want him to tell me who is he over? Who he jumps?
Top 3.
Because my guy just missed what 4 weeks, and you only got me by 80 yards.
I'm telling you, by the end of the season, I've got him there.
Hold on, Kelly. Tell me that though. My guy just missed 4 weeks, and your guy only up 80 yards.
Why don't we look at the last few games? Look at what he's trending. We're trending here. You're trending here. So
how can you look at the last games?
My tight end been gone for 4 weeks.
The other 4 weeks. I'm saying look at Ferguson's numbers the last few weeks. I mean, the guy's been balling. I mean, he's been playing good.
Here's why I say this. For one, okay, your guy's been gone for 4 weeks, right? Well, our offensive coordinator was fumbling his way through this offense for the first about 4 to 5 weeks. Because let's face it, you cannot lie that this offense has looked different. Because even in those games, the first games when we was blowing people out, that was a lot of our defense getting blocked punts, getting picks returned, stuff like that. The offense was still having problems, whether it was in the red zone, whatever. They was having those problems. Since that time though, and since they started getting CeeDee Lamb the ball and they started pushing the ball to CeeDee and Ferguson, those two have been balling out and they've been a problem for everybody they went up against. They've been a problem.
I got a question. How many weeks I'm supposed to go back and look at Ferguson?
I look at here's what I would tell you.
Since the Philly game?
Whatever games you want to look at. He had 91 against Philly. He had a good game against Seattle. I mean, I've watched the games. I go to all the games. So I'm just telling you, seeing him on the field, he's gotten better and better week in and week out, and he's becoming – Dak loves the tight end. That's his safety, but you saw it with Schultz, even though I couldn't stand Schultz. Dak likes the tight end, and he's got one that he's comfortable with Ferguson, and they've improved each time. I mean, Dallas drafted Schoonmaker in the second round, and Ferguson's, gone way past him. I'm just saying – that's just my opinion. We're going to see. All will be settled on Sunday night, and if all I'm going to say is – if Ferguson jumps out with a couple touchdowns and 100 yards, I better be on that.
He ain't had 100 yards yet. He won't get it. He won't get it Sunday. He ain't had 100 yards yet. He won't get it Sunday.
You don't think he'll get it Sunday?
He ain't had it yet. He won't get it Sunday.
Okay, we'll see.
He was 9 short of doing it.
Hey, he ain't getting it on Sunday.
We'll see.
That home field, you know what they say? That home field advantage give you a 3-point swing, so it can swing.
Y'all got a better chance of Gallup going for 100 yards than Ferguson.
I think all our receivers can go for 100 yards against your secondary. They're terrible. I mean, let's just be honest.
It sounds good. That sound good. No, that sound good.
You want to go good. We're going through all year because you keep wanting to bring up all year. So what is your defense ranked this year? You guys
We
got
bad. We bad. Yeah, we bad.
Are we talking numbers now?
how many
We
points do
bad.
you score? How many points do you guys score a game on offense?
Where we at?
Now we talking numbers now because
What is that? Hold on.
Deron
It's
Bland-
30,
Deron
30
Bland
and
with
some
the
change,
6'6"
20 and some
got them
change.
over the top.
Yeah, you know they gotta.
Well, now they trying to skew it. I get it.
We've scored
We talk-
40 points
we
at
talk about
home
this game.
almost every game. Kelly, correct me if I'm wrong.
Y'all did it 3 times. Y'all did it 3 times.
Okay, well, how many home
3
games do
times.
we have so far?
I think y'all have 5, something like
3
that.
out of 5 is a majority, and then it's going to be 6 on Sunday night, and we'll be 4.
Nah,
for
you ain't putting up 40.
You don't think we're going to put up 40 on you? You don't
Nah.
think?
Nah.
Really?
I like these
Really?
Cowboys fans, man. Like
Man, listen, man.
they really think
Listen.
that scoring 40 is the win all be all. That's
Oh,
what
no,
it
it's
is.
not the end all be all. But
That-
when you're
that-
scoring 24 and we're averaging 37, I'm like, the odds are pretty good that we're going to beat you.
You know
We're
who's
averaging 27.
You
We
know
averaging
who was
27.
averaging- Who was averaging that much when we played them? Close to that much?
Who?
The Dolphins.
Dolphins?
Averaging.
The Dolphins were missing all their guys. I live in Florida, my friend. I know
Hold
that
on,
Who they was missing?
All they guys? Who was they missing?
Waddle didn't play.
Waddle did play. He got.
Yes, he did. He got hurt in the game.
Your defense didn't play. Whatever.
Hey, listen, no, hold on.
I
no.
need some of my Dolphin friends to help me because that's all I heard from them is they were missing all their starters. So
Right.
help me out, my Dolphin fans. They were missing some starters.
They had some people in there.
Did they have some people out?
No.
Did-
Not no
They
major
were missing
people.
a lot of guys. I could have sworn they were missing.
No,
The
and they
running
still
back-
have Moser, and he didn't really do
Oh,
nothing.
they was missing like A-Chain, but they had Mostert. Mostert is the starter.
Come on, man.
Yeah, I don't know.
So let me ask y'all a question
They
though,
haven't
'cause
beat
and I don't
winning
know because I
record
don't
yet,
watch
so
a
why
lot
does
of
that
Dolphins.
win count good for you guys?
Huh?
Dolphins hadn't beaten a team with a winning record. Why does that win count so good for you guys?
You know why?
Yeah, why?
Because at that time we're talking about time frame.
Ain't y'all in the same boat right now?
No, but you guys bring that up. I'm just saying.
Hold on, I'm
everybody-
saying.
Y'all beat a team with a winning record.
Y'all ain't beat a
Actually,
since week 2.
hold
Y'all
on.
haven't beat a
Wait,
team that has a
wait.
500
Let
record.
Kelly talk.
Man, you're
Let
pounding
Kelly
your
talk.
chest
Please,
on it.
please.
They had a winning record. They had a winning record when we beat them. The Seahawks did. So we can't say that they didn't have a winning record. We can't say that. And I'm just and the Rams are 1 game away from having a winning record. They're at 500. So that could be 2 teams when it's all said and done. But listen, we both play the same people. If you take the Chiefs out, we both got to play. We still got to play the Bills. We still got to play the Dolphins. But listen, the Dolphins been smacked upside their head every time they played anybody legitimate. They did. And so the Cowboys, the 2 teams they played over 500, you had the San Francisco 49ers, which they did the same thing to us that they did to y'all. They whooped us around. And then we had you guys, which we played y'all on the road, and we lost that game. And I would say that was a game of inches. I didn't make no excuses on that game. It was a game of inches. We had a couple of plays, some things that didn't go our way. I've been saying it for a while, man. I think you guys got a horseshoe up y'all's ass, but Hey, no, listen, man. You got like 2 fumbles that game, and they all come back to y'all, man. When does that happen? Like I know I have not seen that happen. I'm sitting there like y'all fumble the ball at the 10-yard line. I'm like, how the hell did it just bounce right back into his lap like that, man? Just right back in his lap. But you know what? Hey, football, it takes a little luck to win some games, man. So I can't say shit about that. A win is a win. But I'm just saying, when y'all come down to Texas and y'all come to AT&T Stadium, the house that Jerry built,
11-1.
This Dak just plays good against y'all, man. He's 8-4 in his career. He's 3-1 in his last four.
Oh, hold on, Kelly. Pause. We're not doing the 8-4. If we really expose that 8-4, that 8-4 is fraudulent.
All right. Well, do you know what 7-0 is?
7-0 what, at home?
No. Do you know what a 7-0 record is?
Yeah, it's undefeated.
Undefeated. Your boy is undefeated when I go to the Eagles game. Never walked out disappointed, and I'm going back to 1996.
Well, I'm sorry, Mike. I'm sorry, Mike. Your streak got to come to an end this Sunday. I'm sorry.
Do you remember the game at Texas Stadium? You guys might be too young. I don't know how old you guys are. But you had our old kicker, and you were beating us the whole game. We came back, took the lead. You guys drove down the field, and Chris Bonio flubbed the kick, and we ended up winning the game. I've seen us win in so many different ways. Now, I will say most of the games I've been to have been beatdowns. So, I mean, I'm just being honest. Most of them have been beatdowns, and I think there's one. There's my boy right there. He's an Eagle fan. He was at the game with me. He knows the pain, and he knows the streak. He won't go to the game with me. He said, I'm not going to another Eagle game with you because, we always win. So remember that Sunday night when you guys are getting your ass whooped, you say, God dang, Mike is there. We need to put a hit on him. We need to make sure that he can't go to another game.
Look, I'm a write Kelly right after we win. Right, I'm like, man, I need to get back on the show so I can congratulate him on breaking the streak, man.
Listen, I want to ask y'all a question because the other I saw they was talking about this on who was I telling you, Mike, before the thing on Law Nation. They was having this debate and they was talking about, and I heard, and it was a Philly fan. I don't remember who he was because I didn't get to catch all the names on it and everything, but they was talking about Jalen Hurts and they was talking about Dak Prescott, and he said that he was basically what he was saying, just kind of summing it up, was that he thought that Dak Prescott was the better quarterback in terms of like arm talent. So my question to you is when you look at those two quarterbacks, obviously Jalen Hurts has won big games. We know that. Look at the playoff resume. When you have those two quarterbacks, honestly, line them up side by side. I'm not asking you to say who you think is better. I'm not gonna make y'all do that because we ain't gonna try to cut this up and put this out on Twitter. But honestly, what's your legit comparison when you look at those two quarterbacks as far as where you rank them and how you compare them side by side? I'll let you go first, Smitty.
Oh man, see, I knew it was me. I was just waiting. Listen, Dak Prescott, whatever he's doing right now is impressive, man. He having his best season probably to this date. You know what I'm saying? As far as, turnover ratio, passing yards per attempt, all that stuff, it's nice, right? But I think when you put them side by side, I think Jalen Hurts is the best deep ball passer in the NFL. I think Dak Prescott is probably the best intermediate passer. He's good in that middle section of the field. He executes that very well. I think he probably has. If you put him in a situation where he was throwing 45 times, Jalen Hurts throwing 45 times, it's more in Dak Prescott favor than Jalen Hurts. But if you wanted to say like, yeah, as quarterback talent, I guess you could say that because my quarterback can't see the flat half the damn time because he looking for the deep ball, which makes me say what I say. He's the best deep ball passer in the NFL. And I see Mike up there with the facial expression, but I mean that. I say that with everything I mean. He might listen.
Hurt, so
like when it comes to the deep ball, but Jalen Hurts is a better athlete, and to me, he's like more dynamic. He can win the game in different ways. Like if you looked at the stat sheet, Kelly, and you was like, Dak Prescott had 17 carries, you would be more upset than me. You know what I mean? If he had 20 passing attempts with 17 carries, you'd be more upset than me. Me, I'd be like, oh, we won that game? Like Jalen Hurts did it like that. He had 17 carries for 80 yards and he had 20 attempts for 180 yards and we won the game. Like, I'm okay with that because I know my quarterback can kind of do it in different ways. So when I rank them, I obviously have Jalen Hurts ahead of him. But after this year, I mean, I think Dak Prescott should be in conversations of, somewhere in that 7 to 8 to 5 range ish.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna let King go next, but I do want to say this year, Dak Prescott has 288 passes for over 20 yards down the field, and Hurts is at 268. So Dak been slinging the ball downfield this year. I just to say that before King goes. I just want to get. I wanted to pull that up. I had to see them numbers right quick. Go ahead, King.
The funny thing about this this question is, it took Dak Prescott how long to play to this standard? It took my quarterback 4?
I don't think that's true, but go ahead.
In 2019, Dak Prescott had a great year.
I don't think
he had a great year.
He was 13-3 his rookie year.
And what did he do with that?
He lost to Aaron Rodgers in the playoffs. I mean, geez, that's the worst thing that could happen to somebody.
Okay. Anyway, my whole thing is this, right? Jalen Hurts
and played very well in that game too.
It's a dual threat. He did. I ain't gonna hold you. Dakota did. He did. Especially I think that was the last time Dez Bryant was on the team. Was that?
It was, yeah.
But anyway, I'm just like Smitty. I'm going to take Jalen Hurts. Not being biased, it's just the simple fact that he's a dual threat quarterback. And you could say, Dak Prescott slinging the ball and doing those things. He's not as much of a runner as Jalen Hurts, but the worst thing that had happened to the league this year is that Jalen Hurts' knee was bruised. He could not move the way he was moving, and he started to get more accurate and getting that rhythm back in the pocket. That's what happened. Now, if he has that time and that talent behind that line, I'm putting him over anybody. I don't care how many points and yards that somebody has. This guy knows how to win football games with his arm. I can't say the same for Dak. I can't.
He can't win a football game with his arm or leg? I thought
his arm.
Wow.
His arm. This is why. Wait, Kelly, please. I know y'all don't.
Go ahead. I'll let you finish.
This is the reason why he can't win meaningful games with his arms. Do y'all agree?
No.
What meaningful game?
I was just going to ask that. Tell me the game that meant something. I ain't talking, and don't tell me, and I already know what game you're going to. Give me one other than that one playoff game.
Don't go give me the San Francisco game where they didn't even have a quarterback, and don't tell me about the Giants.
I don't care. I didn't say anything about the path of the Super Bowl. I'm talking about your quarterback had it on the line 2 years in a row, and he made bonehead decisions.
Green Bay playoff game, he rallied that team back when they were down a lot, played very well. Seattle playoff game, played very well. Rams playoff game, played well. Defense gave up about 500 yards rushing. You want to throw that on the quarterback? Have at it. San Francisco played bad. San Francisco played bad. He had 2 bad playoff games. Tampa Bay, he annihilated them. You call them whatever you want. They're a hell of a lot better than the Giants and a hell of a lot better than a fourth or fifth or the running back playing quarterback for the 49ers. So that's what pisses me off a little bit when they get on Dak, because they throw all these things out there. And I love Hurts. Don't get me wrong. I loved Hurts in college. Mm-hmm. His resiliency when he got screwed over a little bit, say it's screwed over however way you want to do it at Alabama, goes to Oklahoma and does great things there. I liked him. Unfortunately, he's an Eagle, but when he came out of college, I was hoping he went to a better team. But he's done great. and I hate comparing quarterbacks because they're just different. I mean, you like his style because that's what he was. But you guys are riding Carson Wentz's jock, like crazy. He was the next coming. So you're going to ride with who your quarterback is because you're loyal to your guy. I'm going to be loyal to Dak, but I'm going to tell you, I don't think Dak's the best quarterback in the NFL. And for you to tell me that you're going to put Jalen Hurts over Patrick Mahomes or Joe Burrow, something like that.
Hold on. I said he's the best deep ball passer. Best deep ball passer. Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback in the league. Come on now, you ain't gonna twist it. Oh no, he ain't gonna say that either. King ain't gonna say that he better. Patrick Mahomes.
Said Jalen Hurts the best quarterback in the NFL. He said.
I did say that.
Okay, well, hey,
he stands by it. That's good.
We're talking about this year. Patrick Mahomes hasn't been good this year as he is.
We're talking this year that Dak Prescott's the best quarterback in the NFL. His numbers prove it.
I'm not talking about no numbers. I'm talking about winning. I'm talking about winning ball games, bro.
What ball? All right, we both got our ass kicked by the 49ers. Both quarterbacks did not play well.
Okay.
We both can agree to that.
Okay.
Dak Prescott outplayed, and you could say whatever you want, you can disagree with me. He outplayed Jalen Hurts when they played each other head to head. You guys won the game. Take nothing away from it. You won the game. That's the way it goes.
He outplayed him, right? Hold on, Mike. I got a question, right? I got a question. So he outplayed him, right?
He did.
So tell me how you had 6 possessions inside the 20, and you needed 1 touchdown, and you couldn't beat me, but he outplayed my quarterback.
Dumb penalties.
Did he not get sacked by Hassan Reddick on that too?
Bad decision and dumb penalties. Yes.
Did his tight end run a short route and he throwed it and he could have put it in the end zone to the wide open man on the back end with Brandon Cooks?
The tight end should have had that.
But Brandon Cooks was, if you go watch the all 22, Brandon Cooks was wide open.
Tight end should have had the touchdown.
Brandon Cooks was wide open though.
Why is Jalen Hurts stumbling over his feet? Why is he fumbling for no reason when nobody?
You see the diversion? You see when you say effect, bro. When you say effect,
fumbled in the game against us, miraculously it fell back to him, or the game would have been over. You could go all day. I mean, you want to nitpick every little play? Come on now.
You said he outplayed my quarterback, but he had 6 opportunities to score 1 touchdown, and he couldn't.
Like 400 yards against.
And you had 3 of them in the fourth quarter. You was in the 23 times in the fourth quarter. He did not outplay Jalen Hurts. He did not. Jalen Hurts, when it counted, just like y'all said, just like King Davey just said, your quarterback can't win with his arm. When the game was on the line, we needed the lead. Jalen Hurts puts your best cornerback on the grill and put him one-on-one with Smitty, and he dropped a dot, and you couldn't ever get the lead back. That's outplaying you. Yeah. That's putting you on the burner. One-on-one is your guy versus mine. It was first down, and guess what? I need the lead, and I'm not giving it back, and that's what happened.
Okay,
that's what happened.
Okay, and what's that against the Eagles?
You want to break that down too? You want to break down the 8 and 4? Let's break it down. Hold on, let's break it down. Let's break it down.
Every little game.
Hold on, wait. Let's break it down. You want to bring up 8 and 4? You want to bring?
Is he better than
and three of those wins came against Nate Sudfeld and what's his name that just left my team? Oh, Gardner Minshew. Yeah. Come on, you want to really talk about 8 and 4? You were 3 and 4. You were 4 and 3. You were 4 and 3 against Carson Wentz. You were 4 and 3. You were 4 and 3 against Carson Wentz. You were 4 and 3 against Carson Wentz. You are 1 and 1 against Jalen Hurts, and you were 3 and 0 against 2 backups. Nate Sudfeld, you're 2 and 0, and Gardner Minshew.
What's your record against our backup?
What? 2 and 0? 0 and 2?
No.
0 and 2? 0 and 1?
2 and 2.
Oh, okay.
Well, first of all, just to say, we're about to be 2 and 1 versus Jalen Hurts because Sunday night.
I know we're gonna be 2 and 1. I understand, Kelly. You got it right. You got it right.
But listen, we about to be 2 and 1.
We about to be 2 and 1. I understand. I got you.
Listen. You sit there and you tell us like we can't talk about the wins that he got because you're throwing out all the quarterbacks in the ring. Was y'all's coach not screaming? How about them Eagles when y'all beat Cooper motherfucking Rush?
Yes, but thank you, Kelly.
Excuse me. Did he not do that? Walked up the field like you won a Super Bowl last year when y'all beat Cooper Rush.
What was he y'all talking? Was he y'all talking crazy? Hold on. Was the media not talking crazy though? Kelly, coming into that game, what did the media say? Cooper Rush was the best quarterback on the field. Y'all were playing the best football. Y'all were 4-0. Y'all were playing the hottest football in the NFL, and y'all supposed to come in there and beat us. So I'm supposed to be happy. I'm supposed to be happy if I beat you. You're 4-0. Don't try to knock your backup. My backups came in and didn't win games. My backups went 0 and 4.
And then when that came back, that was averaging 35 points a game, and we beat y'all when we dropped 40 on y'all.
Let's be real about it.
Against there it is again. Gardner Minshew, the guy that dropped 35 on your defense, though, right?
Gardner Minshew wasn't playing when we hit that 4th and 30 or that 3rd and 30, was he? That wasn't Gardner Minshew. That was Darius Slay. Y'all number one.
How many turnovers did Gardner Minshew give you in that game?
And garbage.
How many turnovers did Gardner Minshew give you?
The same amount Cooper Rush gave y'all, 3.
And do you hear me talk about? Do you hear me talk about beating Cooper Rush?
Right.
I'm talking about me. You coming to my house 4 weeks ago and me beating you. I don't care about what Gardner Minshew, Cooper Rush. I don't care about 8 and 4. To be honest, that 8 and 4 ain't got you nothing. That 8 and 4 in that 8 and 4. Hold on. In that 8 and 4, I've been to 2 Super Bowls and I've gotten one. I've gotten one.
Your NFC East Championship banner in that dump of a stadium. What are you doing over there? Come on,
now. It ain't a dump. Come on now. You can say what you want, but it ain't no dump. It ain't no dump.
We got that over y'all.
Yo, one Super Bowl in 52 years.
Did you stop me from getting it?
One Super Bowl.
You went 8 and your quarterback was 8 and 4. Did you stop me from getting it? Dak Prescott was on the Cowboys at that point.
Did you stop us from getting 5 then?
No, we didn't. Obviously, we didn't.
All right.
I mean, they also didn't have the free agency or salary cap either. But
they didn't have free agency. You guys had it. You had. Your guy
created the salary cap, man. Jerry Jones created the salary cap to try to ease his hand into the pocket and make it more for him. Come on, man. What y'all did since salary cap?
That's the biggest myth ever.
What y'all did since salary cap? What y'all did since salary cap? What y'all did? What y'all did? Since you couldn't just go out and buy people, what has happened?
Troy Aikman drafted, Michael Irvin drafted, Emmitt Smith drafted.
And how many of them wanted to leave and y'all upped the price on them?
Oh
Did
my
we do what?
God.
Then y'all hold on. Didn't two of those guys that you just named want out, and Jerry Jones opened his checkbook and gave him a couple more million on top when there was no salary cap because you didn't have to pay. You didn't have to pay taxes on that money. You didn't have to pay the luxury tax of
Are
going
you trying to
over at
say
that
those
point.
Eagle teams in the 90s were trash? You gonna tell me that
We
they
didn't
didn't
have
underachieve?
we had defense. That's all we had.
You had Randall Cunningham.
And what he had on offense?
You had
Tell me.
Ricky Waters
Tell me.
for a little while. You had who'd you have?
What did Randall really have on offense, bro, in the 90s, bro? That was our whole problem. We can stop you, and then Randall didn't have. Randall had to be Superman.
The Cowboys every year. That was the problem. And you never had good coaches. Buddy Ryan, good coach, could never win in the playoffs. Not to go back in time, but that's just a fact.
Look, I'm gonna say this. The good thing about this is this rivalry ain't never gonna die anytime soon. And you know what? Sunday night at 7:20, we get to find out. What's what, right? You guys are 10-2. We're 9-3. If we move to 10-3 and y'all move to 10-3, that's what it is. And if not, we don't. We can talk about it then. But I can tell you right now. When you guys come into AT&T Stadium, I want to get a prediction from you guys, but I'm just telling you right now, when you come into AT&T Stadium, you're coming in 10-2 and you're leaving 10-3.
I know you're leaving 9-4. I understand.
I got the most confidence in this game that I've had in a long time.
I just had
y'all say that all the time, but y'all say y'all confident in every game.
Before
we give
the same way y'all tell me y'all confident in every game, and y'all tell me it's y'all year every year since the beginning of time. I've been hearing this y'all year since I was a kid, since I was a little kid. I've been hearing. I seen y'all win the 5, right? And then I was like, well, what happened to y'all years?
I know.
I think y'all used.
It's hard.
I think it's over.
It's hard to win a Super Bowl. It's hard to win a Super Bowl.
It's very. You guys know how hard it is to win a Super Bowl. I mean, you should be.
Yeah,
we won in 3. We won in 3.
Hey, that's what they do. They do this little quick jab.
Listen, we won in 3. Hey, we won in 3.
Man, I'm hearing you.
We won in 3.
I had a question though. What do y'all guys like? How do y'all feel about Shaq Leonard?
Here's what I'll say, and I'll let Kelly jump into, and I'll defer to you guys. I know that Shaq Leonard, that was a 3-time All-Pro and all this. Good friend of mine is a big Colts fan, and he texted me after we were looking at Shaq Leonard. He said, "You don't want him. He's washed up. He's not the same guy since his back surgery." He said, "Go look at the Patriots game. Zeke made him look terrible." And so I'll defer to you guys. I mean, he's a name, and I don't think he's going to hurt anybody, but I don't think he's going to change the balance of power for you guys. Wouldn't have changed it for us, but that's just my opinion. But
TV, why would you bring this up? In the middle of hold on. In the middle of war, when you know how I feel about this, you bring this up.
Because I wanted to ask.
Well, let me get my 2 cents on it real quick. I thought that maybe he could be a guy for a rotational piece for Dallas, but I will say this, man. I did not. I'm not a Colts guy. I didn't know a whole lot about him. I didn't realize that he has had some back issues and had back surgery. And as a guy who has had some back problems, I never had back surgery, but I know guys that have. And these guys aren't athletes. These guys aren't the guys that I know are not athletes. These guys are just regular Joes. I am like that, man. Back surgery and back issues are no joke. And I think there's a reason that he hasn't looked like the All-Pro. I think there's a reason he hasn't looked the same because I think that injury is affecting him. And I don't know that, you're going to ever see the Shaq Leonard that we saw with the Colts. Now, you guys are thin at that position. Obviously, that's a position of weakness for you guys. So, I mean, you guys didn't pay much to get him, man. So it's a low. What is that? They say it's a low risk, high reward. Yeah. If it works out for you guys, it works out for you guys. But it wasn't one of those deals where when y'all got him that I was like banging my head on the wall, like, damn, man, how'd we let this one slip away? I was curious to see what he could be with us. I'm curious to see what it would be with you guys.
So what you guys think about it?
What you think, Smitty?
Nah, you ain't set me up like this. Go ahead.
Let's be honest, man.
What I think is that just looking at some film on him last year, even up to this year, I see what you guys are talking about and everything. I don't know how much it is from the back injury. I don't know how much it is from scheme because a lot of people say it could have been a scheme that the coach was running. I don't know anything. All I know is what we expect out of him, and what we expect out of him is leadership in the locker room. He's just been in the league for so long. Whereas though 3-time Pro Bowler, I think that he's going to set the tone for the linebacker position. We went into the season with a play caller in Kobe Dean. Obviously, he got hurt, and we didn't have really a too much of a play caller at the linebacker position. I think he could do that at least for us, even if he can't move the way he used to move. But if he could get back at least 60 to 70% of what he was, then I think that's a late in season still from Howie. I don't need him to be Shaq Leonard of old. I need him to be better than what we got and then be in the rotation because we still got Zach Cunningham. We still got Nicholas Morrow, even though he played awful against the 49ers. But, that's just position and situational play calling from our defensive coordinator and Sean Desai. Now, I think that, Shaq is going to be Shaq, regardless. We got the guy that everybody was screaming for in the Philadelphia fan base. Now we need to see how he does on the field. But I'm not having high expectations for him. I just want him to be better than what we already have.
Yeah, and maybe a fresh start is, so that was my positive if Dallas would have got him is, all right, well, if he's played bad, maybe a fresh start is going to, he's playing on and it's weird because the Colts are actually a playoff team. I know they're not going to go anywhere, but it was kind of odd that they let him go there, but maybe he's got some motivation because, being an all-pro as a rookie, very hard to do. And he's still young. You just don't know how the back is. But I will say this before we get into some predictions, I'm going to give you guys some love. Because I did a little analysis and I kind of figured it out. And we're going to beat you guys. We're going to beat you Sunday. You're going to lose to Seattle next week. But I think we're going to lose a game. And I ran the numbers and I said, we'll lose to Miami on the road. There's no path because I don't think you lose. I don't think you have any chance of losing any other game besides Seattle. There's no path for Dallas to win the NFC East, even if we beat you. And if you lose to Seattle, unless we win every game, which I think is very difficult to do. So I think ultimately, you guys are going to end up taking the NFC East, and we'll probably be hopefully we're seeing you guys in the second round and not the 49ers.
Hey, back to that to the previous guy, the linebacker guy. He's better than Christian Ellis. That's And Fred, hey Fred, listen, I will not allow DV to let y'all see me act a fool. If y'all want to see what I said about Shaq Leonard, I did a show on Wednesday and we talked about this. I'm a judge later. I'm gonna just say he better than Christian Ellis, and that's that.
Yeah.
Prediction.
Yeah,
time?
man, your boys are here setting you up, man. But that's
it was a setup. Listen, he knows how I feel about this dude, bro. He knows, every fan base wants every guy that becomes available.
Exactly.
They all
wants to watch the.
It was just the Cowboys, but I'm glad that you guys do that too because it blows. Every time there's a free agent, everyone goes crazy. Got to sign him. Got to sign him.
No, it's all 30. It's all 30, Mike. It's all 30.
Who just lost a linebacker? I think the Titans.
Yeah.
Everybody on X or Twitter was basically saying the same thing. Hey, let's get him. I'm like, we already got 3 linebackers, man. We are 4.
And I'll say if Cowboys fans would have had their way, Jamal Burnt Toast Williams would be in our secondary right now. And Earl Thomas would have been. We thank God that the regular fans don't have a say in who comes to our team because you're right. Everybody that's a free agent is like, let's get this guy. Let's get him, sign him, make him a Cowboy. I'm like, whoa, pump the brakes now.
If Jerry had his way, Manziel would be our quarterback right now. Well, he'd be out of the league right now.
Thank God that didn't happen. God, yeah.
But every fan base want everybody, right? But they don't want to watch no film. They don't want to. They don't want to look at nothing. They just like, oh yeah, he free. Oh, I know his name. I seen him on Madden when I was playing. Yeah, pick him up. He made like 10 tackles one Matt. Like, dog, come on, bro. Because he was on your Madden team. Because you heard about him on ES. That don't make him good. Go watch the film. Go really examine these dudes and really look at what they bring to your team. Everybody don't fit everybody.
And they'll be the first ones to call the front office trash for that same sign-in that they wanted. We should have never gave him all that money.
Robert Quinn last year for the Eagles. When the rumbling started, everybody was like, "Yeah, we gonna start him. He's gonna be a great attribute." The man played 37 snaps, zero sacks. Mm-hmm. Like, you didn't do nothing. And you came over here with a back injury and got surgery and everything on the house. Come on, man.
Yeah. What happened to Julio Jones? Because that was another one that
he there. He's getting the most snaps at wide receiver 3 right now.
Mm-hmm. Is he getting any catches? Because I just never see him do anything.
I mean, they ain't scheming.
He get catches. It's not effective.
Yeah, I think it's maybe 7 catches on the year right now. Wow. 1 touchdown.
Yeah. No. Well, good, man. This was a lot of fun, man. You guys are great. I love mixing it up with the rival teams. And do you guys consider the Cowboys your biggest rival? I did a show on that. Do you think Cowboys are your biggest rival or no?
Yeah, I'll say yeah.
King?
In the division, yeah.
Okay, because I had the Eagles ranked 5, and I got a lot of heat for that.
I kind of understand why.
Yeah, but y'all go see.
To preface that,
y'all going back to the 90s, right?
Y'all know, to preface that, we're talking about through history of time, right?
That's what I'm saying. Y'all going back.
49ers are biggest.
We're talking about the 49ers, the Steelers, the Packers. So we got, in the playoffs is what we're talking about when we were playing. So just to preface that.
Since we lost Arizona in the division, I'll say this. Since we lost Arizona in the division, I think it's been us too.
Yeah.
In the division,
division's
that's been the primary rivalry for a while.
Washington was it, but they haven't been the same. But mine was the 49ers and the Packers were the top 2.
Because technically speaking, I wouldn't. If outside of division, I would. Honest to God, truth, I'd probably take the Patriots, bro.
Really?
Yeah, they stomped me out for a Super Bowl. And I got my get back, and it took me. Listen. My cousin was the Super Bowl MVP for that game, bro.
Oh, really?
Deion Branch is my first cousin. He was a Super Bowl MVP, and he beat me. So, do you think about me going down south to chill with my cousins, and he is there, and he's like, you an Eagle fan? I got a Super Bowl MVP against them Eagles. Like, and I had to hear that for so long. And then when I finally got the chip, he still rub it in, but it feels a little better for you to rub it in, and I can rub it back in a little bit.
That was the worst Super Bowl for a Cowboys fan because I can't stand Brady and did not want the Eagles because the Eagles have always been quiet. Because they never had their Super Bowl. And I said, once they get that Super Bowl, they ain't never going to let us forget it. You guys sure the hell have
it. Yeah, I agree.
So talk about predictions. Give us your honest predictions. And I will preface this by saying I had Dallas losing the first game against the Eagles. I thought we were going to lose on the road against the Eagles. So it's no hate if you want to show some love to the Cowboys. I don't think that's going to happen, but I just wanted to preface that. And let's hear your predictions. We'll start with you, King. How's this game going to let us know how it's going to play out. And then the chat, go ahead and knock yours out too.
How it's going to play out? We're going to take the momentum early. Dallas Cowboys is going to be the team that tries to crawl back into it. I really believe that we're going to go in this game, putting it all together. The coaches is going to play A1, probably A and not A1. But overall, I just think that it's going to be a decent game. Y'all are at home. And I know how y'all are at home. Now, y'all, was bigging up Ferguson and everything like that. But truth be told, I think that, he's easy to cover. He's very easy to cover. It's just that, we have this defensive coordinator that likes to put linebackers on these tight ends. And then also Reed Blankenship back there. Now he's got to cover the middle of the field and try to run over to the tight end. So it's little things like that. But when we lock in on y'all playmakers, our defense is like very hard to stop. But we need to have that happen in the first half. If it doesn't happen in the first half, then this is going to be a tell of halves with this game. With that being said, man, you know, we are up there in run defense. Third down defense, not so great, but it could be better. It could be better. Both had little issues in the beginning of the season, red zone. But I think that this is going to be our get back game. This is good for the division, good for the conference. I'm going with my prediction all week. 31-23 Eagles. We're going by 8.
And your third down has to get better because it's last, so can't get any worse, right?
No, second to last.
Is it? Are they gotten better?
Cardinals is last.
What's up, Smitty?
All right. So, you said how it's gonna play out. I think we're gonna play the game we usually play, bro. I think you know we're gonna have to rally someone, but I don't think it's gonna get away from us. I think halftime is somewhere between 7 to 3-point game. I think we rally somewhere in the third quarter. I think this one. You know what? You know I'm a Kobe fan, right? And since Kobe left, I've been like a Stephen Curry fan. And you remember like the Golden State days, DV. They had the powerful third quarters. They were going like these crazy runs, and teams would kind of be choked out. It was like no way to get back in the game. I think
you talking about like us last year in the second quarter. But go ahead.
Yeah, like the second quarter last year. So I think we're gonna have a third quarter of disbelief. I think it's gonna knock their socks off. But I think in the fourth quarter, as usual, you know, they're gonna pack it on a little bit. Couple empty calories, you know. Drive down, maybe a touchdown somewhere late. Give me DV. I changed it up, man. You know, I was being nice, man. I was being cordial. We was in here, man. Give me 38-28 Eagles.
Woo, 10-point game. Okay, I like it.
All right. Well, I like it. And I'm gonna go ahead and go next, Mike.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Go next. All right. Well, you know, sometimes, man, you want to bounce back. You know, you want to bounce back, and you want it so bad, man, that you have delusions of grandeur. And you know, but I think the Eagles is gonna bounce, but kind of like a hot check. You know, bounce like a hot check because the Dallas Cowboys got something for y'all. Y'all got the second to last third down, and Dak is one of the best on third down this year. I think CeeDee Lamb's going to have another big game, but actually I don't think he's going to have the biggest game. I actually think y'all going to hold CeeDee Lamb to right around 100 yards, but I think Brandon Cook's going to go for about 140 on y'all. I think he's going to get a couple of deep bombs. I think Brandon Cook's going to have a touchdown. I'm going to say 140 yards. But I'm going to say the Cowboys are going to come into this game. AT&T is going to be rocking. 14 straight they've won. I think the confidence level is high. I think Dak Prescott is seeing the field as well as he ever has. And I think the Dallas Cowboys are going to – I think the storyline on Monday is going to be, are the Eagles so shook that they cannot recover from another loss like this, back-to-back losses? And I think the Cowboys are going to take it out. I've got 42 Cowboys. And I've got 31 Eagles.
Very nice. Very nice. And does Jerry have anything to say about the game before I go?
Here's the thing, fellas. When you come into Jerry's world, there's not a chance in hell that we're not going to put on a good show. Now, this Dallas Cowboys team, they're built to win at home. We've got the crowd rocking. The popcorn is ready. And the drinks cost $35 a pop. So come on in and get ready for this ass whooping because the Eagles are going down on Sunday at AT&T. How about them Cowboys?
And the only thing else I got to say is, how about them Cowboys?
Well, since we got Jimmy going to the Ring of Honor, I wish it was this time, but no, the prediction for this game, obviously, they always say, in order to beat a man, you got to beat the man. And the Eagles, give them the roses, give them the flowers. They are the kings of the East right now, but they got to come into AT&T. Now, we all know The referees helped them a little bit. We're not gonna say anything about it.
Oh!
The game earlier in week 9 had what we like to call an asterisk by it, but this time the Eagles have a chance to prove that they are real, to prove that the ass beating that they got the week before was just a little bump in the road. But you got to walk the aisle. You got to walk the aisle, and you're going against America's team. You're going into AT&T. You got Mike Tag going to be there landing on the Learjet, going to be touching down on Saturday, hanging out with Des Bryant on Sunday, getting sauced up and getting ready for the game. So 7-0, soon to be 8-0. I think Dallas, I've said it for weeks, I think we beat them easily. I say 38-24. Empty calories, like you guys like to say, for Jalen Hurts. They'll keep him in the game because he's got to pad some stats. Where our guy, he'll be sitting in the fourth quarter, and that's what I got to say.
He'll be sitting in the fourth quarter?
Yeah, Dak Prescott's going to be resting.
How many? Can you tell me how many times has he sat in the fourth quarter against the Eagles?
This will be the first.
It's
the first time.
So it's a bold prediction.
It won't be the first.
He
gonna be sitting in the fourth quarter. That's for sure. You're right. He's gonna be resting because that rear end gonna be hurting from that spanking we gonna be putting on him. He's gonna be sitting because it's gonna be out of hand, and they're gonna be like, "Go, come over here. Let's get it together for next week. We got to get this game plan going."
I'm gonna say this, man, for all those people out there from and I don't know if you guys have said it, but I've heard from other people across the Philly out that Dak been doing some stat padding this year, and I'll say this: when our quarterback was getting his ass beat in San Francisco, we sat his ass down in the fourth quarter. You guys had Jalen Hurts out there passing like he was trying to win the damn Super Bowl with about 3 minutes. And I'm gonna be honest with y'all, the first thing I thought was that was a dumbass move by your head coach, because if Jalen Hurts would have got hurt with 3 minutes left when you guys had no chance of winning that game, I mean, what was he even out there for? So I'm just gonna say this: Dak ain't been stat padding. Dak got a hell of a season right now. He's got the better numbers than Jalen Hurts right now, and he's played like 3 quarters less. So I'm just gonna say that there's no stat padding going on with Dak Prescott. He's just carving up.
And we're gonna split, and I think the rubber match is gonna be in the playoffs. We're gonna have, and I said it,
Kelly. I'm gonna just say it's cap what you said too. Ain't no stat padding.
Who? Jalen Hurts?
Okay.
It wasn't stat. No. I'm talking about Dak Prescott.
He's gonna be resting. He's not gonna be stat padding. He'll be eating another turkey.
His stats ain't gonna look good enough to be stat padding anything. He's gonna be sitting down trying to figure out what went wrong. He's gonna be doing exactly what Jalen Hurts was doing last week, looking at that tablet, trying to figure out what went wrong.
Hey, okay, all right. So listen, before we bounce, I agree with Mike. I do think that we meet again in the playoffs. So I'll just say this: if we meet again in the playoffs, we got to do this again. We got to run it back. I had a good time with you guys, man. I like the fact that I like the fact that we got a little bit. There was a little bit of. Got a little bit heated. I expected it to. I wanted it to, and I like that though. You guys, y'all brought it, man, and we appreciate you guys coming into the Cowboys cave and bringing some insight and you guys may be on the other side of the aisle, but at the end of the day, it's respect, man. As a football fan, as a football fanatic, I appreciate other fanatics that are the same way as me. So anytime I get to spend a little time talking football with some people like-minded like myself, I really do truly appreciate that. So at the end of the day, much love to you guys and much respect for what you guys do on the other side of the aisle.
Appreciate that, brother.
No, definitely. Yes, a lot of fun, and a lot of energy, and it's a good time. And I've got some opportunities to mark the tape, and you guys do as well. So I'm sure come Monday, one of us are going to be made fun of. Maybe it'll be me. Maybe it'll be you. We'll see what happens. But it was a great time, and we definitely got to do it again. So tell everyone again where they can find you guys on social media, especially on YouTube. I've said it. You guys, all these people, quit wasting your time on NFL Network, ESPN, and all those clowns. You got content creators, Cowboys, Eagles, all these teams that put great work in and provide great content. These two being one of them. But let everyone know where they can find you again.
Mike, before I go, right? When you gonna let me drive to South Florida? We can fly out to the game together, so I can watch you take your second loss next year.
Well, you're talking about Florida State, Miami?
No, the Eagles, the Eagles, Dallas. I know you flying back out there, in the Learjet. You know what I mean?
Hey, man, if you,
I'm in Florida. I'm in Florida already. So
where are you in Florida?
I'm in Orlando. I'm in Kissimmee, actually.
Oh
Kissimmee.
man, I live in Tampa.
Oh, you right? See right there, boof. See,
well, we got to get together. You hit me up on because I'm over in Orlando all the time. Hit me up on Twitter. We definitely
I hit you
my number and stuff, and we got to connect. That's
all
awesome.
right.
I didn't know that. That's cool.
Yeah. But you can find me 4133 the podcast on YouTube, Smitty Eagle 373 on Twitter, and eventually it'll be 4133 the pod on TikTok. But I'm gonna have my daughter work on that because that's for the I need to be cool and stuff. I gotta have music and all that stuff. The glitz and the glamours because TikTok is popping right now. So I gotta make sure I'm on point. But hey, I appreciate y'all for having me out though, man. Hey, Kelly, I appreciate you for reaching out, man. I appreciate Mike. It was a fun time, man. I appreciate all the people in the comments too, man. Without y'all, there is no us. So I appreciate y'all for coming out, man, and showing us some love, man. We got to do it again if we meet in the playoffs. We got to make it happen.
Yeah, and I'll say on TikTok, I just give you advice because I'm on TikTok. Post your videos and never go back because people are just absolutely ruthless on there.
Yeah, big time.
Yeah. I am on TikTok, but on YouTube, on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it, and also TikTok, King DV Sports, all one word, all together. Just started back up my channel. Lost my channel. So I'm trying to get my subscribers back up. So who's ever not subscribed to me, please subscribe. Great content. I'm realist. Even if it goes down how Mike and Kelly think it's going to go down, I'm going to make a video about it. I might rant about it, about my team. I'm not going to say anything bad about what the Cowboys did. If they beat us fair and square, I'm going to give y'all props. But at the same time, it's a good watch to see both sides. I'm already subscribed to Cole's Cowboys, Law, Boss Cowboys. I'm a couple Cowboys content creators. So it's good to see different perspectives. And just like Mike said, I'm on record saying the same thing. That's why I was shaking my head very hard when you said it. ESPN, Fox Sports, everything like that. That's not where you get your great content from. I'm here in South Philly. I'm like 5 minutes away from NovaCare. So whoever's Eagles fans and everything, you might want to get your insight from me because I can touch base with everything and also have access to the radio stations here. So, as always, fly Eagles fly. Thanks for having me on, guys. It was great to talk content with y'all. Hopefully we see y'all again in the playoffs and we can do this again.
Awesome. Yes, awesome. Well, I appreciate everyone for jumping on. We will see. I'll be Kelly probably won't be getting up. We'll do a show on Sunday when I'm at AT&T. Kelly will be sleeping, but we'll figure it out. But it's going to be a good time. So we'll be seeing you guys. And again, appreciate you jumping in. Just hopefully everyone gets out of the game healthy. The Cowboys win. How's that? Take care.
I'm not gonna have it.
Take it over. Yeah. Take it, Billy.